Good morning. Good morning, Zeta. It's always wonderful to see you. Um, I don't know. Right now, it looks like it's just you and me, kid, which is perfect and awesome for me. Um, Today, it's kind of windy out today. There is a hurricane again coming towards Louisiana. Southwest Louisiana just can't seem to get a break. So keep them in your prayers and everyone who's in the path of the hurricane that's coming. We're on the outskirts expecting more tropical storm conditions. So it's kind of windy out right now. It shouldn't get too bad this morning, but if it starts getting crazy, I might have to pack it up, but I don't think that's going to happen. Um, so let's see. And again, if anybody hops on, if you say hi, I'll reply later if I don't get you when you do say hi. Today is going to be my last Friday class. I'm going to keep doing weekly, but I'm changing it to Sundays at 8 o'clock, um, to accommodate some changes in the kids' schedule here and my work schedule. Uh, so, yes, thank you for praying, Zeta. Prayers are powerful. Send out blessings. Um, so I hope Sunday morning works for folks. Uh, so we'll see, but I look forward to hopefully seeing you next Sunday at 8 o'clock. What better way to start the day than with a little bit of yoga and getting grounded? So let's see, today, welcome to class. We are talking about Asteya, which is one of the Yamas, which means non-stealing in Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. And this value or idea is expressed in all every you know spiritual text and in law in every country. I don't know what civilization does not value the idea of non-stealing. So this is an important concept and almost like a no-brainer kind of when we think about it, like, yeah, of course, not stealing is is wrong. But I think it's good to think about this too in terms of not just stuff. Stealing, stealing things is kind of almost the first thing we often think about. But when we think of stealing, it's taking from others. It's going beyond our own boundaries, crossing boundaries, and taking from others. And that could be stealing other people's peace. When you walk into the room, and the article attached to this class talks about the idea of walking into yoga class late and making a mess while other folks are settled in, making noise as you're entering the room, disturbing other people's peace. And that happens in other places too, you imagine. Stealing attention. You might know some folks that do that sort of habitually, and sometimes we do it. And recognizing when we're taking something from others. Uh, Also, the concept misery loves company, and I'm not going to let someone steal my joy. Stealing other people's joy. And sometimes we do that when we're feeling miserable. And we may not do it consciously, but it it's something that we might do compulsively when we are seeing other people happy or joyful and we're feeling miserable and just sucking that energy away from them. Uh, and so another concept that goes along with that is hoarding. You know, taking earlier this year, remember when folks were hoarding toilet paper? Taking all the toilet paper and paper towels off the rack so that other people couldn't get it get what they needed. Um, and so what's beneath all of that is a sense of lack, a sense of not having enough. And what underlies that, ultimately it boils down to, is a sense of not being enough. I don't have enough. I am not enough. And really getting to the root of that is how to really expel the behaviors associated with it. And so there's that, and it's also fear. Fear that I will not be able to obtain, create the things that I want, but really it is the things that I need. The fear of not being able to, that I will not be able to get there on my own, by myself, for myself. And so it's the same thing that underlies jealousy. What really jealousy, what's beneath that is that sense of fear that I can't have. I won't be able to do that or have that. So a good thing to ask oneself in moments like this is, what am I afraid of? Um, I'll give an example. You know, an aunt of mine always seems to have her act together, and into her house some time ago. This is some years ago. She had gone through a lot, but I went into her house, and her house was immaculate and beautiful, and she had made all these changes to it, and I felt a sense of jealousy. And when I asked myself, what is it that I'm afraid of, in responding to that, it was that I was afraid that I could not have that kind of peace and order and beauty in my own home and in my own space. That was the fear that was underneath it, that I would not be able to do what she was doing. And so the answer to that is taking a step moving in that direction of, ultimately, what is it that I need? Is it that I'm desiring peace, joy, contentment, getting to the heart of it and moving, taking a step in that direction, a bit by bit. And so that's the answer. I hear you, Zeta. Awesome. And is that fear true? Good question. So asking, because fear is a trickster, and so facing that fear is really what will bring you back into a sense of presence and reality, like reality check, and realizing that oftentimes beneath that is another fear, a different fear, another fear, and just get to the heart of it, and then face that directly. And so this idea of craving, of grasping, desiring, that attachment to those cravings, the sense of emptiness, of having to fill this void, um, is what underlies that, and realizing that what underlies that is this sense of being enough. And so, what what we'll do today in class is bring our awareness to that, to the abundance of right now, of who we are, and accepting life at life's terms. Accepting this moment right now. It is what it is, and bringing awareness to the pleasant things, delighting in those things that are pleasant and that feel good, and noticing when we might be having a tendency to try to cling to that and hold on to it. That's what the clinging is, what leads to the suffering. And so letting it go when it's time to let it go. And also being aware of pain, painful physical pain, emotional pain, and noticing when we are compelled to avoid, and we're trying to avoid experiencing those things. Because to really fully experience the abundance of this life, we must fully experience the joy and the pleasant things when they come and delight in those, and experience and be aware of the painful things, and realizing that it all comes and it all goes, and having a sense of equanimity, realizing that, and taking each moment as it is, accepting it, and experiencing the abundance of this moment, ourselves, inside and out. And remaining in, hi Carolyn, uh, within our boundaries, respecting boundaries for ourselves and for others. So let's start that right now. So I welcome you to settle into your seat, whether it's in a chair or on the floor. Get comfortable. Bringing awareness to this, the abundance of life and energy right here. Anchoring ourselves in presence, sounds around us, sensations, our bodies settling into the earth, the clothes against our skin, sensations against the body and in the body, those that feel pleasant and those that might feel unpleasant, without judgment, observing, bringing awareness to whatever is drawing our attention without aversion, without clinging, just allowing the waves of attention, awareness, thought, allow it to come and go, rise and fall. Noticing the light that enters our space, If our eyes are closed, the dance of light across the eyelids, the breath, where you notice it most prominently as it enters and exits the body. Or you might notice a sense of the whole body breathing. And if you find the mind wandering, having a sense of friendliness with ourselves, and just gently returning to your anchor that brings you back to presence in this moment, whether it's the breath, sound, sensation, or general sense of awareness.